Hi, everyone. I hope that you are having a good morning, noon, or evening when you're watching this. I'm Meredith. It's nice to connect with you. I hope that you're having an okay time, a great time, actually. I hope that you're having a great time. I'm kind of in a silly mood, so we'll do our best. I wanted to come talk about the full moon in Aquarius. It's an interesting full moon. I would say that, you know, the sun just moved into Leo, which is exciting. Yes, I am a Leo and I have been waiting for this moment since last year when it was last Leo season. I've been waiting for it. I've been like, okay, you know, there's something about when the sun comes into Leo that reminds people to get back into their heart. It reminds people to get back into human to human relationship, you know, and it reminds people about their creativity. Leo is the light, it is the sun. So wherever Leo is in your chart is where like the light is shining, basically, like the flashlight, the sun, you know, and light illuminates things. So I'm kind of excited to see what this Leo season has to bring. Hopefully there's illuminations for us, both personally and more macro. And, you know, this full moon in Aquarius, you know, because the sun just moved into Leo today. So the full moon in Aquarius is tomorrow, which is the 23rd. It's the very first degree of Aquarius, and I wanted to read that to you guys because Elias Lonsdale, he wrote a book called Inside Degrees. It's basically the best thing ever, and I highly recommend you look into it. But this says, old stone steps descending into darkness. Oh, nope, that's Aries, my fault. Okay, so, but that would sound appropriate, wouldn't it? We're kind of in a descent, we're in a descending kind of energy. Ooh, but I like this one better. Okay, so this is the first degree of Aquarius. This says, a woman strolling in a garden. She is unaware that she is being watched by elves. We adopt a split-screen mind when the outward frame of things seems so insistent that we must be reasonable and logical and make complete sense in a quantitative, functional way. But what happens is that the other side of our awareness, the outlawed side, gets very strong in the subconscious and stays alive. We can almost play off of it, emphasizing our skeptical or worldly approach to things. But there is a joke to it. For you are aware of what you are not aware of. You are tuned into the very things that you deny. This kind of edge hones the mind and the soul. It teaches invaluable lessons, not the least of which is to make way for the unknown while hugging the known close to you, knowing all the whole, how profoundly the unknown beckons. Wow, okay, so I'm really excited about that. And you know what, for good measure, let's read the first degree of Leo. A horn of brass to be used as a hearing aid. Subnormal and supernormal as one. Bearing a karmic handicap in which you cannot get away from yourself for a moment. Yet this opens the doors to a destiny dedication that is monumentally strong. Your world reverberates endlessly with your own individual themes. You are trapped in the form of individual selfhood, yet for all its excesses and fanaticisms, it is the perfect situation to lead you through where you need to go. Because by meeting yourself at every turn, in every possible guise, you are deeply pulled down into a self-expansive pathway where there had been extreme constriction and radical blockage. The transition is arduous and consuming. It feels as though it is impossible to break through, but the very things that characteristically and thematically just will not let you go shall become the ultimate springboard. You wear out your old programs the hard and laborious way. by being at their mercy and learning that somebody in here is really ready for something fantastically different and will do whatever it takes to thin out all the delusions and make personal egoism tolerable and insufferable, and just too big of a joke not to get ever again. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so huge stuff in there, right? So that's crazy. So those are the 2 degrees. I'll link them, or maybe I'll just copy paste them in the description so that you can look over them, because oh my gosh, I just found so much resonance with those degrees. Yeah, just like pretty taken aback. So it's interesting because in February, there was a lot of Aquarius energy. And, you know, Aquarius has like a more organic, like community coming together with others, you know, sharing knowledge with others. It's the water bearer. So in a sense, you know, the water bearer contains truth within it. So Aquarius, you know, it's interesting. There's definitely like a light and a dark side, right? And we can kind of see right now on the horizon, if we look a little bit out that way, that artificial intelligence is very much like here. It's here. You know, there's really like no denying that unless you are completely in denial and under a rock. Like I said this last year and people called me crazy, but now I'm like, whatever, like it's here. And there's going to be, I perceive more and more and more, not just energetic intensity, but also there's going to be more of like more technologies coming out that are coming out to the masses for the first time. So, you know, I don't know, it's interesting, and, you know, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but really like there was a lot of things that were set into motion by the Aquarius conference in February. There was like the sun, the moon, Mercury stationed retrograde in this space. There was Venus at the time. There were so many planets in Aquarius, Saturn, Jupiter. And that's like, I mean, Aquarius can have to do with these themes that we are seeing in front of our face, right? That have to do with artificial intelligence, transhumanism, which is the merging of humans and machines, either, you know, like, it's just like something that's happening, like cybernetic enhancements and Neuralink. Like I would like to like create a space on my channel where I can talk about things like that, because it is happening, you know? So there's these different things, right, that we're kind of like encountering. There's really like, there are new frequencies that we're encountering. You know, so it's really just like an opportunity, in my opinion, whatever choice you make, whatever you choose, it's an opportunity to evolve. This is a huge evolution. And I think that in some instances, I'm excited. I'm excited to be alive during this time of radical transformation and personal up-leveling, because that's the other thing that I feel like this time comes with too, like with increased compression, we can either form like diamonds and like rise, you know, or we can, you know, it's really like individual choice, and it's, you know, so, but I know a lot of the people that watch this channel are like on the evolution tip, which is fucking awesome, and like, you know, pursuing their spiritual growth. And that is an aspect of Aquarius. Like, don't forget that there is a beneficial side to Aquarius that has to do with frequency, that has to do with like, I don't know, just, you know, interdimensional communications, or, you know, it's like we're experiencing a time of high strangeness, believe it or not. So this is, you know, Aquarian territory. And I think too, like for our inner expansion, there's this whole thing, right? And I'm just going to speak to it because it's very, very, very polarized right now. And that is only going to get more intense as this year progresses, which is what I said. If you go back to If you go back to my 2021 video, there's a lot of good stuff in there that's very relevant to this time. But like, I would say that because of, you know, there's like this sort of like pressure to conform to a set of ideas right now. Like, I'm just going to say it, it's true. Rudolf Steiner talks about the ahrimanic deception, which is where people get very ensnared into the material and the physical and the scientific, that they in fact alienate and forget their spiritual side, their spiritual nature. But there's also, in Aquarius, there's an inner rebel, and there's a like reactionary and a solutionary and innovation. And so I think that all of these things are happening at once, you know, and in different ways, in different situations, in our own personal lives. And yeah, I don't know. I think that this full moon might highlight where we are either trying to conform, or where we are like trying to maybe rebel, or like, you know, it's not super far away from the planet Saturn at this time. It's not like incredibly far. It's far enough, thank goodness. I don't think I could take a full moon on my Saturn return, but you know, I think that it's interesting. It's an interesting time with Saturn, like being not super close, but there's just enough of a Saturn sort of like get your shit together kind of energy that is with this full moon as well.